Hello, Amplifiers. Excited to have you here and excited to have a guest who is passionate about making a difference and a bigger impact in the world. The cool thing is we all have a unique gift. We all have something inside of us that really, if we tap into and we amplify it, we can have a tremendous impact on the world. And sometimes we don't even realize the impact and how far it can be cast. Our guest today is a Chief Profit Officer. She is so impactful in helping others. She knows her numbers. She is a certified profit first and fix this next professional. And I'm excited to have her on the show. So without any further ado, Diana Miret, welcome to Growth Amplifiers. Glad to have you here today.
Thank you. Nice to be here, Kenny. It's a pleasure to be with you and your team. What a great company you guys have. Love it.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful way to start the day.
Good.
So we were chatting a moment ago, and we were chatting about when you were out on this quest to build your business, to grow your business. Initially, you can get an idea in mind what you're trying to build, but you're going to run into some challenges. You're going to run into some obstacles, some dips, some highs, some lows, and you've got to be inspired. You've got to be fueled to continue that journey. And you were sharing a great idea of how you can look at things to really tap into seeing a bigger picture of what that impact could be. Would you mind sharing a little bit more about how you can tap into a bigger purpose to go further and farther?
Well, sure, I'd love to. We were chatting about the importance of really understanding why you're doing what you're doing. And I shared that for years and years and years, I thought it was about sharing some expertise that I had acquired or some skills or some certifications or some experience, which is all true, right? We all go into business with those tools with us. But what I recently began to be very cognizant of is that, and this is what keeps me going when we do have dips, when we do have moments where it looks kind of bleak or something, I try to tap into the numbers. And what I mean by that is the number of people that are relying on me, whether they know my name or not. And the way I look at it is a typical small business, according to the SBA, has 3 to 10 employees. So let's say I have 3. Let's just be really conservative. And I have 3 employees. And so right now, me and 3 other people are dependent on my business, right? However, if you think about it, those 3 people, and including myself, us 4 people, have people that depend on us. So on average, 4 people depend on the person who is working. Maybe not 100%, but they rely on that income. So right off the top, there are 16 people that are in the business dependent on what we do today and how we succeed. And that's just thinking about my 3 or 4 people and their people. When I think about just one customer, one of my customers would probably have 10 to 20 employees or more. Some of them are even bigger employees or employers. And when you think about that, now they have 10 employees with 4 people on their side. So there's another 40 people. So right there, one customer, 1 hour with me and my team. And what? I lost track already. Almost 60 people impacted in just one customer. So now you take that and multiply it by the number of people I work with, the number of clients that we serve. My goodness, right? Just me doing my little thing. I have impacted possibly over 100 to 300 people just by getting up in the morning and doing my job.
That is incredible. And as a certified profit first advisor yourself, you help people look at the numbers and making sure that they're reducing their expenses, increasing their profitability, saving more so that they can really achieve their financial income. But I think it's helpful, like you said, to look at the numbers in a different manner sometimes.
Right.
That's really great because sometimes you might have a financial setback. And if you look at just the bottom line, if you're not looking at the hearts that you're touching, the impact that you're making, you can get derailed a little bit. You can start feeling like, oh, I'm going backwards. But that bigger purpose of, you know what, I'm doing this not just for the profit. We want to be profitable. We want to have profitable businesses. It's how we can make a bigger impact. But if we're fueling that fire and looking at the change that we can make and the ripple effect that happens with that, that is truly inspiring. So
I'm ashamed to say it just dawned on me in the last year or so. But it takes the focus and the pressure off to a certain degree, right? It takes the focus off of me and my feelings about whatever little setback I may have had. And they are, I'm not trying to discount them. We have challenges as business owners, but just step out of yourself for a moment and think about the bigger picture. Think about and Kenny, I mean, I just want to share one more thing. So, we do things as part of our businesses. We go out and speak, we go out and network or meet. And then I've done little talks around my area in Florida and so on. And I had no idea. These aren't even clients. I had no idea. People walked up to me just last week and said, I attended one of your workshops one day and it changed my business. And that's someone who I honestly probably don't remember their name because they were part of a group. They were part of a crowd that was there that day. And yet you changed my life. You told me to go do this and I did it. And it changed everything. And I was like, oh my goodness, how many people did I impact over and above that number I just gave you? So it's humbling and sobering and also very invigorating.
Hey there, this is Kenny from Growth Amplifiers, here to ensure you get your awesome ideas into action to grow and improve your business and achieve your full potential. Take the first step by visiting growthamplifiers.com and clicking the Start Here button. Take the assessment to get your personalized score. Then select from free resources to learn how to improve your score. Don't wait. Be proactive and take action now by visiting growthamplifiers.com and clicking the Start Here button. And always keep on amplifying. Now, let's get back to the show. Yes, we can get caught up on focusing on the things that need to be fixed, the challenges. We need to identify them. We want to know that they're there. We want to identify that they're gaps. But there can be too much focus. If you're only focusing on the gaps, you're focusing on the lack, the challenges, you could drain yourself. So the inspiration, people, as you're listening in, take the time to really think back about the wins, the benefits, that how you're transforming not just the people that you serve, but the bigger impact that you're providing. It truly is impressive and inspiring if you give it the time and attention it deserves. And we typically don't. We're so forward focused. We're so caught up in the now. And I'll tell you one thing that I had been guilty of when I started growing in my business and thinking I'm an advisor, I'm helping others grow and become more profitable, more from a marketing and sales point of view.
Right.
I'm like, oh, look at me. Then I had a setback. And then my ego
Yeah, me too.
started taking it personally and questioning myself and all my progress just because I was focusing on that setback. And I was just listening to something. I'd love to get your input on it. I think it was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Eckhart Tolle, yeah, great book.
And it was talking about how we need to have those setbacks. It opens up the space to grow. It opens up the space to grow. It's part of the process. Failure is not bad. It's feedback. It's an opportunity to grow. And if we can really embody that spirit, then we can continue to amplify it and take things forward. I'd love to get your thoughts.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that, because let me tell you, that's my story too. You get so focused on success that if you have a setback, I don't know, I went into panic mode. Oh God, what did I do wrong? What did I miss? Oh no, is this forever? Am I doomed? Whatever. Your mind gets away from you. And there's an amazing book by Carol Dweck, I think is the way you say her name, called Mindset. And there's people that have two mindsets in her book: growth mindset, and oh my gosh, the other one I forget. What?
Fixed.
That's it. Fixed and growth. And if it's fixed, then the minute it doesn't go the way you want, you're doomed in your mind. But growth mindset says, oh, there's an opportunity to grow. There's more information I can get, more data. Now, I will tell you, that is a struggle for me. But I try to remind myself that growth, here's the thing, right? When you talk about helping people, you don't know it all. The more you read, you realize how little you do actually know. I mean, you know enough to be helpful, but you don't really know everything there is to know. So when you have a setback and it forces you to dig in, now you have more to offer.
Yes, you'll learn.
You'll learn something. Yeah. And I don't know if you've read the book. We're talking books today. The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham.
I have not read that book.
Oh my
Sounds fun.
goodness, you must read it. Keith Cunningham is, they call him the chairman of the board because he's on the board of some major corporations. But one of the things that he talks about, well, he's actually the business coach for Anthony Robbins.
Oh,
And yeah. And he says, I've created businesses, lost businesses, sold businesses, lost businesses, sold. He has a lot of success behind him and also a lot of failure. And his book is called The Road Less Stupid. And it's the chairman of the board's advice about a whole lot of things. And he talks about having thinking time. If you do not set time aside in your week to just think peacefully, quietly. And he has an agenda. You don't just sit there and hope that a fly doesn't go around your head. He has an agenda, a way to do this, but you sit down in the same location with a notepad and everything turned off, and you begin to think. Well, when you do that, not only do you realize how much more I can do and how much more I can grow, it's quite invigorating actually to sit down and think, but it's also how I can fix. So it's just an hour a week of thinking time has also changed my perspective on my business's setbacks. So I offer that as a possible great way to spend the time.
I think that's very helpful. Luckily, I naturally am very contemplative, very reflective. I like to look at both sides or as many sides of a situation as I can. But I've heard as I've connected with others, and a lot of other people, that's not their nature. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but some people get so wrapped up into the day-to-day whirlwind and that they're so focused on the things that need to be done, they're not taking that time to reflect. And I heard a quote, I'm going to forget who said it, but I'll put it in the show notes. Is that we don't learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experience.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, because if you do something, but you don't really think about it and you don't think about the lesson you learned from it, and then you don't plan ahead and say, what would I do differently next time? Or how could I turn this challenge into an opportunity? Then you're just muttering forward. So I think that's a good takeaway for today. You take some time. If you haven't done this recently, take some time to sit back and reflect on the impact that you're making and the cascading impact that provides not just to your individual client, but to the people that depend on them and the people that depend on them. Think about how big of an impact that is. And think about what are some of the wins that you've had and celebrate them and really, really give them some time and attention that they deserve. And then acknowledge and discern some of the challenges that you may have overcome. But don't put judgment there. Just think about how might you turn those challenges into opportunities? How might you prepare yourself differently? So if you're tuned in, that's the message of today. We want to reflect and put some energy and really tap into that inspiration. And Diana, I know you help other people. Are there particular clients that you look like serving more than others, niches that you find like really resonate with people in this sort of space?
Yes. Generally, I've been working a lot with real estate investors. They are usually tend to be amazing people. They tend to see opportunities and deals everywhere. And they're usually high energy and stuff. And I love working with them. They're fun. But they kind of go headlong into stuff and they need someone to be their sounding board and also be like, whoa, let's look at the cash, shall we? So anyway, I enjoy working with them. And the other niche that I've had recently a lot of impact with and growth, I mean, surprisingly enough, has been gym owners. Those folks are so focused on helping people achieve their goals. And they tend to not be numbers people, except for, like I lifted 35 pounds today. They know that number, but they don't know a lot of other numbers. And they really need the assistance to just get down to the few core numbers that they need to follow so that they can do what they love. And so I've been working with gyms recently and they're really fulfilling and they're so energetic. Well, after a meeting with them, I'm just like, okay, I need to go out, like do something, because they're like full of great energy. So I'm enjoying both of them.
And if people wanted to learn more about you and the value that you provide, where could they go and what could they do?
My website, dianamiret.com. I love to share there. I have a blog also there and on LinkedIn. I try to share weekly, a little short snippet because we all don't have a lot of time, so I try to provide a lot of value in a very short space of time for people. So look me up on LinkedIn or look me up on my website, dianamiret.com.
I love how that flows. You say it so nicely, just flows so smooth.
Lots of years of experience.
So one of the traditions we have for ending these shows is if you could share something that you've learned on your journey that might be helpful for someone on theirs. It could be related to your profession or it could be just any life lesson. What is something that you'd care to share?
Wow. The day that I took responsibility for everything in my life, everything changed. It was a sometimes bitter lesson to take responsibility. And taking responsibility is not the same as taking blame. Taking responsibility is saying, if I want to change it, it's up to me. If I had done something different, it would have been different. I need to change my thinking. I need to change what I focus on. Either way, it's my responsibility. If this relationship is going to work, it's my responsibility. If this client is going to have success, it's my responsibility. When you take ownership, you go from just being a talking head with great information to caring.
I think that's
And that
huge.
changed my life.
Thank you for sharing that. I think you should, if you're tuning in, underline that, star it, bold it. It's something that I know, but I've got to come back to. I've heard from Brian Tracy the ideas, or maybe it's Jim Rohn. I think both of them use that.
We'll talk about that. Yeah.
Being response-able.
Correct.
It's like you choose how you're going to respond to something. And we're people. So from time to time, we're going to get upset at someone else dropping the ball or a situation that we're slighted in or what have you.
Right.
We're people, we're going to react. But if we don't take responsibility, then we can't take control of the situation. If we are responsible, we're going to respond to it and we're going to take control over it. It's up to us. Everything that's in our life is up to us and the action that we take or don't take. I love that mantra. I've been ironing that into my psyche, and I'm glad you shared that.
Awesome.
And for those of you who are tuning in today, Diana is awesome. You can see that. Check her website out. Check her out on LinkedIn. She's putting out great content and an amplifier for sure. Take the time to reflect. Think about the bigger impact that you're making in the world, and then think about your victories and maybe some things that were setbacks. Maybe they turned out to be something good in the long haul. If you're going through something right now, if you're having challenges, and I know there are people who are, don't sweat it. It's an opportunity. Thank you, Diana. It's been awesome. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. It's been time just flies. It's so fun.
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you and to your people. I'm honored. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's keep on amplifying. Thanks, everyone. To show your support, take a moment to amplify this message by sharing it online. To connect with me or gain more business growth insights, visit www.growthamplifiers.com. Thank you for your support.